Your mind is the most powerful weapon in the world once you set aside your phones, computers, and all the modern conveniences we have today. Your brain is the only thing you have when you're facing depression, hard times, or even death. Real life. You can't Google that, man. You're alone. You might have a therapist you talk to or a best friend you confide in, but there are 24 hours in a day where you're alone with this brain, and it's talking to you in all kinds of ways. It wants to control you and pull you into different places. If you can't control your own mind and it controls you, you're in trouble. You have to tell your brain where you want to go, how you want to go, and how you plan to get there. You have to control it. If not, it's over. What existed for me was, okay, man, how am I going to make this work? All I knew back then was hard work. The only way anything gets accomplished. That's all I heard back in those days. You gotta work hard, you gotta work hard. I wasn't getting it. How did I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember this paragraph to pass this test to get into the military. Breathe again. I'm still not getting it. Read it again. Still not getting it. Write it out. Then I started learning, okay, well, I gotta write out everything I do and then write it out again and write it out again. And guess what happened? I got it. I got it. I can't swim. I'm negatively buoyant. Go back again. I can't swim. Go back again. Go back again. Go back again. I got it. I realized that if I keep going back and going back and going back until it just becomes, your mind will say, okay, we're gonna figure it out because he's not going to stop. It's not like, I'm gonna try one more time. No, it's just like the alarm clock goes off. Boop, we're going back. I can't read or write, we're going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. It said, okay, we're gonna adapt and overcome now. Like a lot of people say they're trying hard, but your mind knows, man. It knows this guy's full of it. This guy's lying. There's no truth behind it. When I was in Navy SEAL training, people asked, oh, how were you there for 18 months? The program is only 6 months long. You were in 3 hell weeks in 1 year. No one's ever done that. How did you do that? I talk about the new norm. When I lived in the $7 a month place growing up for a short period of time, I loved it. I didn't know any different. That was my norm. Once we moved out of that place to a $236 a month place, I was like, I never want to go back to that little place. But if you go back to that $7 a month place and realize, this is where I live, that's all I got, your mind says. Roger that. This is home. So when I was going through Navy SEAL training for 18 months and going back through all the hard parts over and over again, I told myself after the first time, I knew this could be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what? This is my new normal. So my mind said, is that going to work? Like you go to work, you put your suit on. I'm going to suffering every day suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet up, stress fractures, shin splints, being broken. This is my new norm. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this isn't normal. We've got to be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more calloused. People ask, how did you run on broken feet, broken shins? My mind knew, this is how we operate. We're in Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I held on to that, and that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I love God, but for a short period of time, I became the devil because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You immerse yourself wherever it is. You become that, and give yourself no way out. When I was 297 pounds and fat as hell trying to be a Navy SEAL, the scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then, 297 pounds, working for Ecolab spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential. Come to find out a few years later, I wasn't even near that. 106 pounds less, graduating Navy SEAL training, going on to do all these other things. Looking back on that, that was me trying hard. That's why people have to understand what is in us. We have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard. People hear my story and think, this guy's sadistic. I realized how the brain works. I figured out how the brain works. I'm a scared kid, and that's what gives me so much power. I had no foundation, and I built this off just researching the mind. The feeling you get is basically invincibility. You realize that you can't do it all the time, but when you need to do it, I know I can go to a place that I can live in. And when you know that you can run on broken legs and you can do certain things that a lot of people can't do but they're not willing to do, there's power. This sympathetic nervous system of fight or flight, and you're fighting. It gives you this charge of energy. When you're sitting there at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're duct taping your feet up because they're broken, and you're doing it by yourself, and you're going to do arguably one of the hardest trainings in the world, and these guys, most of them are healthy, and you're going through it broken, and you're already at a disadvantage, but you're still there. You can feed into that and tap into that for a lot of power. But if you look at it like, well, I'm broken, man. I'm not gonna make it. If you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still here and I'm fighting. And I'm gonna find a way to get through this because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. When things start to suck really, really bad, my brain, and a lot of people's brains, they don't go to your dad beating you up. Your brain says, win it right here. This is miserable. So anger goes away a lot of times when you're suffering because your brain says, we gotta run, we gotta go. So that anger is not popping up saying, oh, I'm gonna show them. I wanna show those people. No, there has to be a much deeper. If I say deeper, it has to be down to mineral soil. It has to be down to that nice mineral soil where nothing can burn. You can't burn dirt. So it has to be down that low, that literally is sublevel, that's at the core, your soul. But you don't find it unless you spend a lot of time with what you want to be in life. I can't give that to you, right? You can't give it to somebody. When you find your true passion in life, and my passion for me was like, I want to be. Now, given my Navy SEALs, I mean around it, I want to serve my country. I wanted to be someone that I'm proud of. I want to look at myself in the mirror because I was so disappointed. That accountability, man, I talk about. I was so disappointed in what I saw every day. I wanted everybody to love David Goggins, and a lot of people did. I didn't love myself, but I knew. A lot of us want to find peace first. Some are gonna say, man, you always talk about this suffering and pain. I'm at peace right now because I'm willing to do that. You don't find peace first. If you do, Merry Christmas. More power to you, more power to you. I found peace on the opposite end of finding myself. And no one really finds themselves without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. Being accountable every day for doing right for yourself, for the people next to you, it's miserable, it's hard. So you know, even the smallest details. You